Welcome. Thanks for being with us today in this specific day where we are going to discuss feelings and a relationship with those feelings. So this is a complimentary webinar, an introductory one, because we are going to offer a program about exploring feelings. But we want it to be a real connection with all of you, where we can share why are we addressing feelings and what we are seeing about them. So would you like to start, Yael, or sharing your relationship with feelings?
You can start. I'll
Okay.
let people enter here. You can start. Here.
Okay. Feelings were always challenging for me. I think for everybody, but for me. Feelings were the main reason why I started anything in self-development. Because although I was telling myself I wanted to be a better version of myself, what I really wanted is to escape of feeling low, of feeling depression, of feeling anger. I thought the best version of myself was somebody that is always calm and loving what is, and that if that person has some kind of low mood, it's going to be so quickly and easy. Now, in the direction of living in my dream mood, in that mood of being always at peace, first I thought, okay, I have to change my outside circumstances, because that's what we are told, like life is from outside to inside. I feel whatever is happening outside. Now, that didn't work, of course. Then I found out about the three principles understanding, this inside out nature. And that was like the key to really understand how I create my experiences of life. Now, what started to happen was that there's a lot of misunderstandings in this community, where we start to say one to another, oh, it's just your thinking, you shouldn't feel that way, it's just your thinking. And I started thinking, if my grounding was deep enough, then I would feel all the time like calm and relaxed and enjoying this beautiful, beautiful feeling. So innocently, I was still running away of my feelings, like if feelings were the enemy. What shifted for me, thanks to the mentoring of Mavis Card, was seeing feelings as my friends. Yes, I feel my thinking, and those feelings are not something to be rejected. Those feelings are coming to me to let me know, first, this is the way you are using your thought, your thinking. This is the way you're using the gift of thinking. It's not being good for you at this moment. They don't tell me how or why or when. They just tell me the way you think feels this way. Sometimes I know what I'm thinking. Sometimes I don't have any idea what I was thinking. I just feel it, right? Now, second of all, the feeling is showing up to say, hey, follow me and I will take you home. In the past, when I heard follow the feeling, I thought, yeah, follow your blissful feeling, follow your bliss. I was chasing this nice, warm, gentle feeling everywhere and feeling like a failure if I wasn't getting that lovely feeling. But when I realized, oh, wait a minute, follow the feeling. It's follow every feeling. And then the question for me was, okay, how do I follow the feeling? Okay, maybe sitting with my feelings is really embrace them. Like I feel anger, I will feel it. I will ask my anger, what's the message that you have for me? Like I will like think about in the past when I felt anger for the first time, this, and this and that. And later I realized it doesn't work for me in that way. And I'm sharing here my experience. I can only be the master of my own experience of what works for me. What works for me, I have seen that works wonders in my clients too. But I can only teach you what I have seen in my own life. Now, what really works is when I notice, first of all, I notice I have a feeling. I allow the feeling to be. I sit with the feeling. I just drop the story that if I know which story brought that feeling, and I just allow the feeling to be inside of me. I honor that feeling. I sit with it. And every time I do that, the sensation starts to get less and less strong and more gentle and more loving. And every time I am back to my normal, calm state. And from that state of calmness, whatever I need to see, I see it. Whatever decision I need to take, if any, I know it. It's like, for me, allowing each feeling to just exist in me, to sit with the feeling, is like taking a boat that is always bringing me to a place of a higher state of consciousness, higher in comparison to the state of consciousness where I was before. It's a gift. It's a love gift. Every feeling, all of them. And we had many conversations with Yael. She's like my soul sister. And we have seen so often that innocently we dismiss feelings and we judge feelings and we judge ourselves for the feelings that we have. And innocently we find ways to avoid feeling the feelings. Even telling myself, oh my God, it's just my thinking. It's a way of avoiding a feeling. So we are here today to take a look at the reality, the possibility that all feelings are just love letters for us to going back home, an easy and fast way of going back to who we really are. That's why we created this space for all of you. Jael, can you share your experience?
Yeah. Thank you. That was so beautiful. I feel like everything that you said, I could have said the same thing. But for me, it started a little different in a sense that I grew up with 9 siblings, and I grew up in a very traditional religious way, and I was supposed to do a lot of things that I didn't really understand what I was doing, and it would frustrate me a lot. And I would get upset and mad, and I would feel, and I would yell, and I would scream, and I would what people call today have tantrums without knowing that, like, I just grew up into this way of thinking about myself, that there's something fundamentally wrong about me. And before I even was diagnosed with any mental illness diagnoses, I kind of diagnosed myself, because I said, it's not possible that everyone around me, it just seems like they're okay. Like when other people would be upset, I would be like, I would try to fix situations. I didn't want my dad to be upset, so I would try to be the best kid and the best adult, that I wouldn't do anything that someone could get mad. Because when I was mad or when I was having any feeling, it was so hard. It was so hard to function. It was hard to do what I wanted to do on a daily basis. It was hard to play with my friends. That's something that I really loved. And even things like helping around the house, I needed to find a moment of quiet without even knowing that that's what I'm looking for. So I would yell and scream to try to make everyone quiet around me, that I can get peace and quiet, that I won't have to, that I can stop yelling and stop screaming and stop being upset. And growing up in this way, I became an adult that would act in the same way. I would want my surroundings to be quiet. I would want people to explain me why they're doing something or why they're asking me, except for the fact they were just asking me. I wanted to understand a little more. And the less I understood, the more I went into my head. And when I was 23, I was diagnosed with manic depression, with psychosis. I would have many episodes of, every year or 2 years, I would have these episodes. And the reason I was diagnosed was because behavior, because the way I was feeling. And what I tried to do in my life was avoid. Like, if only I had a life without feeling these feelings, everything would be okay. And if I wouldn't get, so when I would feel, even when I moved away all across the world to the United States, and I would have times where I would feel very frustrated with my family that are all the way in Israel, and I would feel very, very, very disturbed, I would still try to figure out in my mind, how do I fix my family? Because I just can't feel these feelings anymore. And really coming across this understanding, the principles, pointed me in a new place, pointed me that the feelings, they come from within, and they point us to the fact that we're thinking something about my family, that I'm thinking something about life, that I'm thinking about something that happened to me in the past, and these evoke these feelings in me. And my life changed in tremendous ways. I lost 50 kilos, and I started becoming less upset and mad, and I started having security. But very quickly, like Azul said, I wanted to feel good all the time. And I felt there's something wrong with me. Because if I understand that, why am I not in peace and serenity, just, sitting like the Buddha all day? Why is that still happening? So really, in this community, I think that the first time that I heard about freedom of feeling was from Rohini Ross. I didn't really understand, but I started seeing that living in peace and having freedom in life is not from being in peace all the time, but having the freedom to let everything that arises in me to be there, to be felt. And mentally, yes, in my mind, I understood what she was talking about. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, we feel our thinking, and we can just be with the feeling. And I would tell, and I would look at my family and my siblings and people that I worked with, just feel the feeling, but it was in my head.
Mm.
And I remember it was the first time that I started understanding things differently was I went through a separation with my partner, and I moved to a new house, and I was planning to sit and grieve. I was planning, right? I got the food and the cookies. I was planning to grieve and not unpack my house and get the shawl on and sit and really grieve this relationship, because this is not supposed to happen to me. And I was really good, and I was trying the best to take these principles and try to point her, to wake her up, for her to change, for me to feel better. And I was sitting in my house, and I felt really, really bad, so bad that I felt like these waves of feelings coming down my head and through my arms and up through my legs. And I felt like this is just too much for me. So I call a friend that works, in this way as well. And I said, what is happening in life? Like, why is this happening? And why do I have to feel? And why am I feeling? And she said, where do you feel it? And I said, what? Because I'm complaining about life. And she's asking me, where do I feel it? But the second time she asked me, I got it. And I said, oh, right. Thank you very much. And I hung up the phone. I sat on my couch. And I had what Mavis says, follow the feeling. And I sat there and I allowed this big lump of, I don't know, it felt like a fireball. And I followed it. And what happened was, it was like it came out of me like a dragon shoots fire. Tears came down my eyes. And when this thing moved out of me, I sat down and I felt calm. And I felt okay. And I felt at peace. And I looked around and I was puzzled, because all my plan of grieving is kind of like, I'm feeling okay. So now what do I do? And that was the first time that I felt, understood, saw for myself what Mavis, what Rohini was pointing to. And now I can know, I see that it's true. And going in this direction, this started fascinating me in a whole different way. Because I not only saw that we feel our thinking in the moment, but also we are spiritual beings. We are human beings in this world now, and we're having a spiritual experience. And there are things that I don't understand about myself or about life. And sometimes a feeling just shows up. And I don't know what went on in my mind. And the freedom to stay with it and not have to try to figure out why it's here and what do I do with it now, keeps me knowing that everything's okay, and that I'm safe, and that life is moving through me. And in our conversations with Azul, we just share such a big passion to move this along and to give the hope to everyone who wants to have that same freedom that we found.
I love the way you share your experience. The thing is that between you and me, I mean, we have experienced different relationships with emotions, different diagnoses. In my case, for example, I had in the past like panic attacks, anxiety, lots of it, depression. And the cosmic shock for me is that once you really allow yourself to sit with the feelings, then is when you achieve that calmness that you are looking for in a kind of manic way, like once you embrace the feelings, everything becomes simple, easy. It's much more easy. That's the other thing that I saw in the past, that when I heard like, yeah, sit with your feelings, and I was like, no, I don't want to go there. Like, oh yeah, now I have to go to some healing. It's going to be painful. It's going to. And when I found out, oh my God, it's much more simple than I thought, easier, doable. I started feeling at peace with any emotional storm. And because I was feeling at peace with any emotional storm, now the storms are not like storms, like some raining there and there and there. And I started to feel at peace with the feelings of the others. Because when you see people that you love, experiencing some feelings, usually our mind, our personal mind starts to like freaks out, you get worried, or you don't know what to do, or innocently you want to fix them, you want to help them to feel better. Or on the contrary, you start acting like a kind of fanatic, like, yeah, feel it. You feel sad, yeah, allow that sadness, and you don't even take them, like, I don't know, a warm blanket or something. You just feel it. What we created is a container for the ones that would like to connect with their feelings in a gentle, loving, easy, and simple way. Because that's what we found for us. And as Yael said, the freedom you experience when you are not longer afraid of your feelings is such an incredible gift that we think we all should have. And the more you allow yourself to feel, you start noticing more subtle things that were going on. Some feelings are like, yeah, you just know, like you're feeling anger, you're feeling this. But what about discouragement, for example? It can be so subtle, and it can affect our ideas, our projects. So the more you use your superpower of noticing, and then your second superpower to allow yourself to feel it, everything starts getting moving forward. I've noticed in my life, every time I felt like, oh no, nothing is happening, I don't know which direction to take, I don't know what, I noticed I was actually stopping myself to feel what I was feeling at the moment. I didn't want to see it. Every time I felt blocked, I was blocking some feelings, because actually feelings are also energy moving through our body. It's life informing us. So I think it's enough about us. What if we open up for questions and sharings? And what do you think, Yael? Or anything you would like to add now?
Oh, no, I think that you said it so beautifully. And I love your last point that you said, that sometimes we don't feel anything. Sometimes we're just like, wait, why am I not feeling? Like, is something wrong with me? Like, before I have a problem because I'm feeling so much, and now I'm not feeling. So wait, what? Maybe I have to check myself. Do I have a pulse? Am I not in a place of love? And this happened to me a few weeks ago. And I started freaking out because I was like, oh my God, where's the feeling of loving life? And I started walking outside, and I was looking at the trees, and I'm like, where's the feeling of love? Where's the feeling of love? And I sat down on the grass, and I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm trying to find the feeling of love in my head. And it's not there. It's not there. So I love that point of also not feeling, that they're all pointing to the same place. I think it's a wonderful time to open up if anyone wants to share.
And one more thing, like our tendency always is to try to figure it out. Like, what I'm feeling or why I'm feeling or why I'm not feeling something, we always go quickly to our head. Like if the answer is here and it's never here. And the more we see that our soul knows what to do, our body knows what to do, we just need to really stop trying to control the world, our lives, what we feel, what we don't feel. It's a lot about what we stop doing, not about what we do. We naturally know what to do. Little children, like toddlers, they don't like, oh my God, why I feel anger? Why I want to like throw this toy to this? They just feel and live. And because they allow themselves to feel whatever they feel last 3 seconds, they can be crying, angry, and 3 seconds after they're very happy. We see that all the time. We were made that way. We just had a lot of conditioning. And the more we notice, the more we can like stop acting with old habits. Questions, sharings. Who would like to share something with that?
Hi, everyone. Hi, Azul. Hi, Jael. Thank you for this sharing. I can relate to both of your stories. I think both of your stories all together, with the panic attacks and depression and so many things. I just have a question, Azul, about something that you said right now, just to make sure and see if I got it correctly. When you were talking about little children, they were meant to feel, different types of emotions coming up, arising every, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, or, it's just like this constant feelings of, just having different feelings, maybe constantly, is what I want to say. So are you saying that we were designed to just have all these emotions and that we do not really have to keep ourselves just feeling one certain way? You see, I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I'm going to go back real quick. The thing is that I've practiced Buddhism for a long time, right? And so my understanding, and maybe I got it wrong somehow, but it's like you should try to keep yourself at peace. And when you're not there, it's because there's something wrong. And that's like the fundamental understanding of what I have. So like letting emotions and feelings arise as they will, because life is so, just happening so unexpectedly sometimes, is to me something that it's hard to grasp. I've been, working on just sitting with my feelings and just allowing myself to experience them without the narrative. And, I'm not going to lie, it's not that easy for me. It doesn't happen naturally, but I have been every now and then able to do it. But now that I hear you saying this, and that's why I'm asking this question is, can I just have this freedom to just let, my feelings just let me experience my feelings without judging them so much, like there's something wrong about me just because there's this feeling arising?
Well, I'm going to give you my answer, but you have to find your answer, okay?
Okay.
So, yes, fundamentally, feeling any feeling, it's absolutely perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong in us for having feelings. Why? Because we feel our thinking, and we are not in control of what we think. Like millions of thoughts go through our mind. Some thoughts we know, some thoughts are completely ignored by us, but we have them. Now, each thought is like a coin. It's two sides of a coin. Each thought, it's a feeling also, right? The difference between toddlers and us, the adults, is that because I feel anger and I want to, like, I don't know, throw my computer because it's not working, I'm not going to do it, right? But maybe a little child will throw a toy or whatever. So I don't act on my feelings, but I allow them to feel any feeling. Now, in my experience, the more I try to control my experience of feelings, to just like, okay, these feelings are good, these feelings are bad, these are welcome, these are not allowed, the worse it gets. As soon as I have a feeling, if I sit with it and I like unplug myself from the narrative and I allow it to be, the feeling dissolves in itself. As a result, the experience is faster and faster. I'm more and more, and I'm spending more and more time in a mental state of clarity and calmness, which is at the end what the Buddhism is looking for. To spend more and more time in a state of clarity. And correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the thing is that we have been made with feelings. So trying to control them is like trying to control our nature, like thinking that we know more than the infinite intelligence that created us. Like, an error here, like this thing have feelings are some kind uncomfortable, we need to fix this. And that's not the point. Now, everything I'm saying to you right now, I have been hearing it for years from different teachers, not only from the 3 principles. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, sounds true. You know, like I had an intellectual understanding. Once I started having an experiential understanding of this, of me having the experience of sitting with a feeling and watching how the feeling takes me to calm and clarity, it was like, oh, wow, wait, now I see it. And then gradually I started being okay with any feeling. And I also started developing more awareness of whatever I was feeling. Like in the past, for me to notice I was feeling depressed, I needed like to be really strong. And now, as soon as there is some like low mood, I quickly notice it and I sit with it. Not as a way of remove it from my life, but as a way of connecting with who I really am and having the joy of being guided by the feeling to calmness, clarity, and the experience of who I really am. I don't see you, Geraldine. I don't know if you're still here.
I'm right here. I'm listening to every
Okay,
word you're saying.
perfect. I don't know if that responds to your question, but do let me know.
Yeah, and as you were speaking right now, what came to mind was that it seems like I was trying to manufacture well-being through my thoughts, just like Yael said, I believe. It's like trying to think myself into well-being instead of going through, sometimes just sitting with the uncomfortable feelings and allowing the process in a way to just happen naturally. It's basically me just trying to fix that feeling. And I understand the part you're talking, which is a really important one, the one that you were saying about the thoughts, because when they go unwatched, of course, it's like they're still generating all of these feelings. So it's a matter of, becoming, in my case, it's a matter of becoming more aware also, not only of my feelings, but also of what I'm thinking, what's going on in my mind.
About that, let me add something, because I'm finding myself so much in your words.
Okay.
In one stage, I thought I had to monitor like my thoughts, like I have to be really aware of what I'm thinking, like paying attention to see which thoughts are coming by, because I thought that was a way of looking after myself. And now what I'm experiencing is that I don't need to do that anymore because the feeling will let me know. In my case, the more attention I pay to my thinking, I go more into my head. It's still me trying to control something. It's still me thinking that maybe some thoughts are even dangerous. So I'd rather look at like what's going on in my head.
Okay.
Now it's like, wait a minute. Thoughts are like, they don't have any power. They don't really exist, really. I mean, they don't have matter, it's just thoughts are all equal. There's not like oh my God, this is a big thought, a scary thought. This is a small thought. This is all are just thoughts. The difference is my attention, the life I bring to a specific thought. Now, Sid said, like, once you get this, go and live your life. Kind of, not with those words, but what I'm saying is that what if you can just live your life and trust that the sensations that you have, that you will notice if there is any feeling that doesn't feel like well-being, at peace. And at that moment, you will sit with it. And when I say sit with it, sometimes it means like going to a place where nobody like can like disturb you and have the notice the feeling in your body. But the more you do it, you can sit with your feelings while you're talking with somebody else. Like I can be talking with you and I don't know, feeling nervousness. And while I'm talking to you, being conscious of the sensations in my body and allowing it to be, and then it dissolves and I'm back to clarity. It's not that now, okay, now we have this technique, let's sit with our feelings. So we change everything and we do it. Once you experience that, it becomes a part of the way you live. Michael Neal recently said something about this specific thing that we're sharing, that this is a sensational way to live. Why? Like in these two senses, it's sensational and it's sensational. I feel sensations, I connect with those. I allow them to be, and I keep living my life. So it's easier than what you think. I thought this was going to be so challenging for so long. And when I found how easy it was like, oh my God, I wish I knew this like 5 years ago. What are you hearing in this?
You know what? I'm hearing something new, and I am going to, I'm going to, I don't know what the right word is, but I don't want to use the word practice, but I'm going to apply this, maybe this new understanding that I'm getting, that I'm listening from you, because it's like you were saying, I'm putting a lot of attention into monitoring what I'm thinking. And what I'm hearing you saying is that instead of doing that, just to kind of just let that go a little bit and pay more attention to when those feelings arise, right? And it's like you said something very beautifully before when you were sharing your story. You said something about letting life inform you through feelings. I've never seen it that way. So this is certainly something that I would like to, see in my life and experience, because to be honest, I haven't done it like this. So yeah, I'm really open to doing this, or at least observing it.
The thing is that we are so beautifully designed that really means that we don't need to do anything. But we thought we needed to do a lot of stuff. So that's why this is more about what we stop doing. I mean, even if I don't know, I'm doing many things in my life and I kind of start innocently ignoring my feelings. At some point, the feeling is going to be so loud that I won't be able to stop ignoring it. So the system like heals itself, balance itself, because we are perfectly designed. We have everything we need at every moment in every way. And it's not an idea that we think, okay, that's cool. It's not something that we have to have faith in it. We have to start having the experience of it, learning by experience. It's not the same if somebody teach me how to drive a car, you know, and I can read manuals and watch videos, but it's different when I'm in the car, right? And at some point that I'm in the car, I don't know, maybe the first days I'm kind of nervous. And then at some point it becomes my second nature. I'm not thinking about how to drive the car, because I had experiential learning. I know how it feels. I just know it. And this is experiential learning of remembering who you really are and what are you capable of. It's not experiential learning of something is new. It's having the experience of going through life without monitoring your thinking, without ignoring your feelings, without detaching yourself of reality, with the excuse of finding a beautiful feeling. I'm rambling here. Yeah, please.
No,
When I
no,
do that.
you're not. I think it's really beautiful, and I love that last point that you said. And I just wanted to share something very, very, very little. I spent many years in the kitchen as a chef, and I thought I was very smart, so I would use my hands instead of using mittens. I would say, no, I used it for so long that I already stopped feeling right in my hands. And I remember the first time I tried to get a hard-boiled egg out really, really fast from the boiling pot, because I thought, oh, just my hands let me know that that is way too hot. And that sensation in my hand is built inside. I never asked, why is that there? Can it just go away a little, that I can put my hand in the oven and do whatever and fry things with hot oil? Because that's what I used to do. But I was ignoring the beauty in the function that is built inside of me. And from that time, I stopped trying to take hard-boiled eggs out of a boiling pot. I would say, okay, so I'll take another minute and I'll get the strainer. And no one has to teach me that. I already know when there's something hot, it lets me know right before. The second time, I already know that it's hot. So I stopped touching it.
I love your examples.
I love yours.
I think Enrique had his hand raised.
Yes.
Do you
Yes,
still?
I did.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you, Yael and Azul, for holding the space, making this happen. I'm grateful. I'm hearing a lot of good things. And the question that Geraldine put up helped me see a lot of things. So thank you for your responses. I like the Yael's thing about the egg. Because I'm a man, I'm natured in male form. I thought I have to live life a certain way. And then, yes, life showed me that, no, that's not the way it is. You're just feeling. But the thing that I'm hearing, either from you or from whatever is happening, is that the story in my head and my feelings are not going to kill me. They cannot physically hurt me. And it is okay for me to sit with the feeling, because before the rush was, I don't want to feel this. And by running away, let's say self-hatred. As a child, I learned I'm not okay because I'm different. So in my head, I am misfit. I don't fit with you ladies. I don't fit with the guys. I don't fit with the married. I don't fit with the divorce. I just don't fit anywhere. So I'm just like a lonely wolf. And I did not want to feel that feeling because it hurts, because it bothers me all the time. But by running away from it, because I don't want to feel it, it's attached to me all the time for 60 years. And now I'm hearing, oh, if I sit back and I feel it, maybe I need to cry or punch or scream or do whatever, but then it'll pass. And I will be free to feel the other feeling. So I think that's beautiful. Hating that feeling has given me a lot of headaches, but now seeing it, oh, it's not going to kill me. Somehow give me space. So thank you for this. I'm done.
Thanks so much, Enrique. You know what? You brought to me something that I would like to also share here. I had experience like December, that some very old fear of related to some childhood memories showed up by Christmas. I come from a home that my father was alcoholic and my mother had a different disorder, and there was a lot of violence, and Christmas and New Year's Eve was a season where like there's too much alcohol and too many things going on. And I noticed this Christmas that there was like an antique, sad, fearful feeling that every time, with the excuse of being a happy mom on Christmas, I was kind of like moving to the side. Now, this time I sit with that fear. And what happened was that I think it was the first time I was honoring that, but I allowed it to go through my body and to really feel it. And when it started to get lighter and lighter, instead of just finding myself in a place of calmness and clarity, I felt such a pure sense of safety. I felt like the way I imagine a baby feels when it's like in the arms of their mom or somebody that loves them deeply, like that warmness and that safety that I've never felt in my life. But when I allowed myself to feel the fear and everything, under that, I connected with a new feeling I never had before. And I promise you, I felt like it was my gift for Christmas to have that experience, to feel so warm and looked after and loved. And then it hit me, so many years trying to escape from that ugly feeling. And that ugly feeling was like just like the gift paper, as a small box, and inside it was something beautiful for me. I felt such warmness that it wasn't like it was coming from this human world, it felt like something divine was just expressing love. So also the invitation is for all of us to feel the feelings, not only because they won't kill us, which is something radical that when we see that, it's like, oh, wait, I'm much safer, like I can do it. But also because under those feelings, they are really precious gifts. And they are there for us to have them. So just imagine what you can find under that feeling, Enrique.
Thank you. As you ladies are talking about this, yes, you said there is a feeling, an energy passing through me. But as soon as you were talking right now, I go, yes, that's true. And I also, another image came that I never had before. So it's from this moment is it can also be like I am passing through a feeling. And if I don't want to pass through my self-hatred or through my fear, I cannot get to that other feeling of joy and acceptance that is there. I have to pass through or allow it to pass through me. And that changes the story that I've been telling myself. Because if I didn't want to show up in here because I don't fit with you and I feel this discomfort, because you may be saying, what the hell is he doing in here? This is for the ladies. If I don't feel the discomfort, I would not have gotten this. And this is valuable. So it was worth it. So thank you.
Thank you, Enrique. And just for you to know, women, men, non-binary, everybody is welcome here. Yael, you're muted, honey.
I think that Wendy had her hand.
I didn't have my, it's okay. Yeah, I will speak. I've got my camera off because it keeps flashing. This has made me very, very curious. Yeah, and that's all. And I loved Enrique sharing. That was a blessing, Enrique. Thank you. Yes, it's interesting. When I did some training with Mavis Khan, and she did share a little bit about the feelings, and I did as well get it intellectually and no more than that. So I'm very curious. I'm going to sign up for your 4-session course because I'm curious and want to know more. I can see how it can make a difference to me. Yeah, I have a lovely job working with students in school who struggle. And I have lots of hobbies, but in the background at times there is feelings of anxiety. They just go on and they confuse me. They don't rule my life, but they are there. So I'm curious to explore those feelings, very curious indeed. I also have 2 children. I have 3 children, but 2 of them, one struggles with debilitating anxiety, and another one, my son, struggles with panic attacks. So I'm very curious about how it can make a difference there. But thirdly, this young students I work with, who a lot of the students in school, too many of them experience worrying thoughts and feelings, anxiety. And one particular group that I work with, autistic children, special needs children, some of them are too scared to talk at times, but they certainly could learn something from this, their feelings, the confusion of their feelings, the fear of their feelings. So I'm very curious to learn and explore from this. So thank you both.
Thank you, Wendy. We were very happy to have you in the program, but the thing is that the more you learn, the more you experience your feelings for yourself, you are unconsciously modeling this to your children, to your students, to all of them. And yes, you can also like teach them how to be okay with those feelings. I have 2 things to share about this. One is that I have one client, she's amazing. She's 14 years old. She had very extremely rough experiences, and she tried to take her own life. After that, that's when her grandmother hired me to work with her. Her life circumstances, her family circumstances are really hard. It's not the same as coaching somebody that is living their own life when you coach a teenager. And I think when you have that experience that you're a teacher and the children like talk to you about their problems, and sometimes they have big troubles at home and there's not a quick solution at that moment. The reason I'm sharing the story of this girl is because once she allowed herself to connect with her feelings and saw that the anxiety, that the depression wasn't going to kill her, she stopped having suicidal thoughts because she was really running away of her own feelings. And more than that, she started easily to live her life noticing what she feels, allowing herself to feel it, and then that experience going through. And to my eyes, I started having conversations with a girl that was really depressed and worried, that couldn't attend school, that she was permanently like crying in the bathroom, like not really wanting to be there, not really wanting to be at home, not really wanting to be anywhere. To one girl that after like 4 months of working together, she's thriving at school, she's okay with her feelings, her life situation didn't change. She still had big challenges at home. But now she knows she's safe to feel whatever. And that shifted the whole experience. So the more we share and the more we leave it for ourselves, the better it is for them. And I have a 5-year-old daughter, Amber. And of course, she hears all these conversations at home. And sometimes we talk about feelings. And you don't know this yet. The other day I took her to her best friend home. She's another little girl, 5 years old. And they were playing in the backyard. And I saw like from a distance that Amber was like holding the other girl's hands, you know, in like the other girl's chest and talking to her. So I kind of like came near and I hear Amber say, okay, where do you feel it? And I'm like, ask like, what's going on? And Amber says, she told me she was feeling sad because she missed her grandparents so much. So I'm helping her to feel it. And the other girl was with her hand in her chest, like, oh. And after a few minutes, they just started playing together. Just imagine being 5 or being 14 and knowing that it's okay to feel anything. Can you imagine the level of freedom? How are they going to live their lives? And sometimes they will forget, and then they will remember, as we are. Sometimes we forget, and then we remember. So it would be amazing if you share this with the children, with the teenagers, with everybody. Anybody else wants to ask questions, share?
Yes, me. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. So hi. So actually, you're talking about sensations in the body, because I was thinking I don't really have so much feelings myself personally. It's more like I think most of the time I'm quite okay, and I pretty much know what to do, and I'm sure I have an emotional life, because it's the only way, I guess, of relating to life. But what happens sometimes? I think maybe two things. One is like something would happen, and then one thing that happens to me is a very sudden depletion of energy, and then a very big loss of power to do anything. And the other thing is some kind of emotional disconnection, like maybe you were talking about before, where then I'm sure that my emotion went somewhere else. It's like some kind of maybe a burning of a fuse. I almost feel it like some fuse is something shut down, and um, maybe I wrote something here, and I think it happens to me when I don't find like something unexpected happens, and maybe I wasn't sensible enough at the moment, or having enough compassion or something like that, and then the experience is quite violent, and the whole system shuts down. So I would say I don't know, maybe what you can tell me about experiences like that.
Dan, would you like to go?
You can go.
Okay.
Yes.
There are many things. First of all, we can have any experience. Now, the way we feel about the experience is the way we think about the experience. For example, today here it's raining. Now I can feel like, oh my God, it's raining, you know, this is complicating everything, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe my mind's telling me, oh, it's raining, nice. It was so hot the day before, blah, 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 blah. And I will have a different experience of whatever is happening outside. Let me give you another example. Let's say I go walking through a park, which happened to me. I go walking through a park, and then some, like a homeless guy comes near me and just punches me like in the arm, you know, like suddenly. I can think, oh my God, this guy is really like mentally ill, or something is happening, or maybe I should put myself, like remove me from that place. And I don't know, I felt like scared or surprised or whatever. Or I can do, why is this always happening to me? Like, why do I look like some person that is like weak, that everybody can punch, blah, 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 blah. I can have a different experience of the same event, right? Now, about the shutting down and the decrease in energy, that's already a feeling. I can feel the shutting down. I can sit and connect with the shutting down, with how that energy is like going away, what I'm feeling. Usually and mostly men have been told to repress their feelings and always look okay. So you have a different conditioning usually than women. Women have been told we are so emotional, we feel everything, blah, 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 blah. And we kind of were allowed to express anything. Men had the opposite experience, usually, traditionally, in the past. I'm not sure that's your case. But it's not like, okay, we sit with anger or depression, or like, we can sit with everything. I can sit with this lack of power that suddenly I have. I can sit with this not knowing what to do next. I can sit with whatever. And there are many chances that you start developing a full range of different emotions that you always had, but weren't able to notice. Or it could be that in your case, everything is much softer and like the emotions are less intense. you will find your own answer. But we are emotional beings just because we feel every thought that we have. It's like every thought that we have, let's say, have a taste. So this thought tastes like this feeling. It's like eating ice cream. You know, we have lemon ice cream, like strawberry ice cream. Each bite will give me a taste. Each thought will give me an emotion. Sometimes I'm aware of it, sometimes I'm not aware of it. Maybe I have a lot of thoughts kind of in the same direction and I always in the same mood. It could be. Because there are two things that I've noticed in my own experience. Sometimes I have some thinking and notices thinking, and then I realize when I have like a strong feeling. Other times, let's say I'm driving my car, okay? I'm driving my car and I see somebody that is doing some like crazy behavior with their car. And I found myself thinking, oh my God, this guy, you know, he can kill us all. I hate driving, blah, 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 blah. And I noticed that. And there's like a few seconds where I still have the chance of, no, I don't want to go there. You know, I don't want to keep going in that direction. Because there's a stream of thoughts. One thought calls the other, calls the other, calls the other. At that point, I'm still in the moment where I can just know I'm not paying attention to that thought and I keep living my life. Other times, I didn't realize I pay attention to that thought and the same thought is like, oh my God, what is this traffic light not fixed yet? Yeah, the government this and this and blah, 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 blah. And I start creating a full experience of it. Now, feeling my feelings will help me that at the first thought that I wouldn't like to pay attention to it, it has a sensation. It's very subtle, but it has a sensation. And I could say, yeah, no, I don't want to go there. I'm just going in a different direction. Which is different than, I know it sounds similar, but it's different than control your thoughts. What we are managing is our attention. We bring life to our thoughts. The same way that I know if I sit here and I start thinking and retelling myself everything that went wrong in my childhood, I know what feeling I'm going to get. Now, the thing is that naturally, organically, our nature, it's all about connection with life, kindness, love, a warm, calm feeling. We don't have to cultivate those. Those are who we really are. And when I get caught up in my thinking and I don't notice and I connect with a feeling that doesn't feel comfortable, I just need to follow that feeling to go back to who I really am. And the feeling could be lack of energy, powerless, sadness, boredom, you know, could be whatever. It's just feel your experience going through life. I'm not sure if
I
that
love what you shared. Can I, you know, can I share two little points?
Please.
You said before that experience happens, I noticed that I acted or reacted in a way that I would like to do it differently. Like I reacted in a way that in that moment, I didn't know how to act in any different way than I already did. And when I hear that, first of all, it sounds so familiar to me, especially when I'm trying to be a better human being and a better person to myself. Sometimes things happen or people say things and then I answer, right? Or it's like, oh, you're just feeling it. Oh, why are you thinking that? Or it doesn't matter, like saying something to my mom or reacting to a friend and then saying, I shouldn't, you know, I shouldn't have done that. Or the way it was for me, like, you never know what to say. You're always saying something wrong. And that, just that has a feeling. That for me was the that barrier, like what was holding up the dams for all the feelings. It's like there was probably this belief in me that I should always know exactly what to do in every moment. And sometimes I don't, and I react a certain way. So there was a little judgment from me all the time, how I was acting. I was trying to fix the past. And the second thing is that when something happens, when there's a depletion of energy, and it happens to me in a different way, not in the way that it happens for you. Allowing myself to stay in that for the first moment. Just in the beginning, it wasn't easy, because if I would feel lack of energy, I would think, oh, wait, you didn't eat. Why didn't you do that? You should have taken care of this. You don't sleep well. All this ideas about myself, that this experience should be different. But the fact that it's happening, that is life talking to me. That is life guiding me. Right now, there's a depletion of energy. That's what's happening. And that itself, to me, means that all this function is healthy and it's working well. And it's pointing me back to me, to myself, to life. It's trying to talk to me in a way that I didn't know before. But the fact that it's happening, the fact that we're feeling these sensations, means that our system is working perfectly well.
Not sure, if we respond to your question.
Yes, I'm thinking of times of emotional when everything shuts down. I'm thinking I was listening to what you were saying, Azul, and also you, Yael. Thank you. And I was thinking, yes, I would really like it to become. I guess if the system shuts down, it's some kind of protective mechanism, maybe even. I'd like it to be more intelligent mechanism, for me to learn from the experience to become new, and I'd like this process to become more sensible, more intelligent, instead of just shutting down and spending a day and a half or half a day disconnected, to be more sensitive to what's happening and to learning from the experience. I don't yet understand how it works within me right now, and what might be possible. I would be I'd be excited to find out. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Something I would like to point out is that shutdown is not a mistake. That was something that at some point of your life experience kept you safe. But it's something that it became a habit, that maybe you don't need to do that anymore. Maybe you are safe now to feel whatever. And the more you notice the habit, the more you're going to get free of it. But in a way that, like saying to that shutdown, like, thank you. It was very useful at the moment. It's not needed anymore. Just an old habit. and the mechanism will get natural, organically will go back to your heart easily. Thank you.
Thank you, Yael. Thank you, Azul.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up, right? Any other question? Anybody else that would like to ask something or share something? Okay. If you are watching the recording and you have a question or a comment, please feel free to send us an email, a message on Facebook, whatever. We will respond any questions that you will have. As we mentioned, this is a complimentary webinar. We're going to offer a program that starts the first week of March, where we're going to explore together for 4 weeks how to reconnect with our feelings, how to healthy and in a simple way sit with our feelings and explore who we really are and connect with our hearts and flourish from there. Yael?
Yeah. So I want to say thank you for everyone that came here, because this really enriched this conversation. And my hope is for anyone who joins and for everyone at all, understanding this function of feelings is a big gift in life and an opening for a new way of being in life. So we really look forward to spending time with whoever shows up, and we'll see you there.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. You can open up your mics if you would like to for saying goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Azul, thank you, Yael.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.